So when Prime speaks, I listen. I know you listen.
Yes,
I think Lamar Jackson should probably listen. But does Lamar need to explain himself?
He doesn't have to. I think Lamar Jackson, his type of talent, who he is, we won't see another Lamar for another 20 years, 25 years. He don't have to explain himself to nobody. He don't have to talk for nobody. Listen, I'm this good. My game speaks for itself. If you don't want to pay me, fine. The Ravens, if y'all don't, cool. Somebody's going to pay Lamar Jackson, and they want that type of generational talent. One of Kanye West's favorite lines, he would say, "It's 1,000 yous, it's only one of me."
Yeah.
I think it's like, it's a 1,000 of these critics. I don't know these guys, Twitter, on TV. Maybe another little show McCoy somewhere, another platform. There's only one Lamar Jackson playing on that field. So yes, Prime is right. Don't worry about them critics. Keep doing your thing. Don't explain yourself. Your play is good enough.
But Chetty, is it? Because if you're Lamar, the only reason Lamar is currently explaining himself is because he doesn't have what he wants.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not explaining himself because he's bored on Twitter. He's explaining himself because he doesn't yet have a new contract, because lies are still in the ether, because people still talking that talk. At what point, if you are Lamar, can you just not explain yourself, or are you like, man, Aaron Rodgers explaining himself, man, let me go ahead and say what I got to say?
I think it's more like the going back and forth with the Twitters, you know what I mean, answering different narratives out there. If he didn't want to play, in the playoffs because he didn't get his money, stuff like that, he's addressing. Where he talked about, well, listen, I was there week one without my big deal, where most players wouldn't have did that. So I think it's more of that. I mean, and one thing about ball players, I got to be honest, we get sensitive. We take a lot of pride in our work. We take a lot of time working out, staying in shape, getting our body right, conditioning, being disciplined, maybe not drinking, not hanging out, to be the best on Sundays. And I feel like when you see people, critics, randoms, and Cam Newton's words, you get upset. And I've been there, it's like, yo, how you judging me or talking about me? You don't know the work and the time I put in. So I get that part of it, but the other part where Prime is saying, listen, you're so big, you're so good, you only have to respond. And that's the thing I think he needs, the approach he needs to take.
Yeah, I agree with Prime. We talked about this yesterday. He doesn't have to explain himself. It's Lamar Jackson.
Right.
He's him. You don't have to explain yourself to Coach Cush. You don't gotta do that.
Is that the name?
It's one of them.
Coach Cush.
You don't gotta respond. We don't have to respond to these people. We really don't have to respond to anyone.
Yeah.
Listen, I have done my share of clapping back on Twitter. I am very, very good at it. I've hurt a lot of people's feelings.
Agreed. This is entertaining.
And I have.
I'm a follower.
Thank you. I'm in retirement right now because, I'm busy. I have stuff to do. I don't have time for these randoms. But so does Lamar. Lamar is busy. He's busy negotiating. This person on Twitter is not going to get you paid. This person on Twitter is not going to change your money. What it could do is take away from your money, though. It could make somebody wonder how much you're worth. Whether or not people think people pay attention to stuff like this, they do. You're in negotiations for hundreds of millions of dollars. It's not time to talk. It's just not. We know what Lamar Jackson is. The NFL knows what Lamar Jackson is. It's going to come down to money. That's what this is. It's a negotiation about money, and it will get solved. But nothing that's going to happen on Twitter, no interaction that's going to happen publicly like that is going to change what Lamar Jackson's resume is. And that's what Prime is saying. You can't really win in a situation like this. It's not like he's clapping back on somebody who's making fun of his eyebrows. Yeah. Like, this is your legacy. This is what you've put on the field with blood, sweat, and tears. Who cares what they say about whether you... This person would stub their toe and call into work. They're not playing through nothing that you're playing through. They're not putting their body on the line. So what does their opinion really matter?
You guys obviously listen to Prime. Prime obviously listens to me because I said this exact same thing on the show. He must be watching Speak, and he must have heard the truth. No. I made this exact point. Like, he doesn't have to explain himself. He doesn't have to be in the Twitter streets. Like, he doesn't have to fight these battles. He's not going to gain anything from that. But there's something else that Prime pointed to about that a guy willing to stand for what he believes will always be misunderstood. And you said it at the very beginning about what Lamar believes or wants, what he wants. Do we know what he wants? That's what I need him to explain, is what does he really want? Because short of having an agent who's going to position with the various people out there what his client wants or what they're after, It's left to Lamar to be clear on what he wants. Does he want to remain with the Baltimore Ravens? Does he want to remain with the Ravens as a certain price? Does he want to be the highest paid quarterback in the league? Like, what is it that he's really after? It's hard for me to determine whether he's being misunderstood when I don't know what it is that he wants.
So you don't even know what there is to understand.
Yes, and that's the part for me that I need some clarity.
But I'm saying, like, no player ever openly speaks about that contract, what they want.
How many guys represent themselves, essentially?
I mean, it's been done before. Richard Sherman did it.
Russell Okung, Roquan Smith.
Yeah, a couple of us did it. But I'm saying, even that part, if you represent yourself or not, nobody goes out there and tells you exactly what they want in contracts. I've never seen that.
Let me ask y'all this. Y'all have an issue with this because what I think Lamar Jackson should do is start telegraphing his punches. Like, he waits to throw them and then tells you that he threw them. I think he should start telegraphing.
Here come the hook.
Exactly. Here come the hook and then throw it and watch it land. Aaron Rodgers did. Remember, it was July 26, 2021. Aaron Rodgers verbally said, I want Randall Cobb. Then July 28th is when Aaron Rodgers said, man, the Packers let go of some old savvy vets that it would behoove us to have kept. Clay Matthews, Julius Peppers, Charles Woodson, Jordy Nelson, some guys that may have been past their prime, but it would have been nice for them to keep. Literally 31 days later, the Packers signed Randall Cobb. Telegraph punch, it lands. It was January 2022. Aaron Rodgers telegraphs his punch. I got a lot on my mind as it pertains to football. So many different things could happen. 2 months later, he gets paid the highest average annual value. What just happened 2 months ago at the end of the season when they lose to the Lions? Yeah, my future in Green Bay, it's kind of up in the air. Telegraph punch. What's he do on Pat McAfee's show 2.5 weeks ago? Yeah, I want to go to the Jets. Telegraph punch. Rodgers is telling you he's about to throw to straight right, and then he throws it, and he still knocks you out. Do you have an issue with Lamar? Because I think Lamar should start telegraphing them punches and landing them, Joy.
I mean, I think there's a playbook to this, but I don't know that, I feel it's a bit apples to oranges with Aaron Rodgers.
Why?
And Lamar.
Break that
well,
down.
Because Aaron Rodgers' legacy is already set. He's the first ballot Hall of Famer. He has a Super Bowl, 4 MVPs. He's been paid. He's got State Farm commercials. Like, he's good. So it's much easier when you have that kind of leverage in your back pocket to, you know.
And the Packers are super soft.
Yeah.
True.
My God.
He's, you know,
Charming.
He's not lying.
Ultra.
So it's easier to throw those things around when you're Aaron Rodgers and you're in that situation. Lamar is trying to get his payday. He's trying to get to that next step. He's in a completely different place in his career. And now because he is this outlier, doesn't have traditional representation, is trying to get this fully guaranteed contract, everyone's throwing things at him to discredit why he deserves that. So that's why he's on Twitter. That's why he's out here defending himself, saying, wait a minute, like, what about all these things I did? And that's why, I don't want to use the word, that's why he's heightened.
Quickly, Joy.
In having to explain
I have a thought,
himself.
and I really have a question. I want you to answer it. Don't you explain yourself when you have some self-doubt? Like, surely you don't clap back now because you're busy. You don't clap back because now you're older. You don't clap back because blah, blah, blah. But there also, I believe, at least for me, is a piece of shady. I don't respond to people now because I'm like, I know what I've done. I know exactly who I am. I know exactly how accomplished I am. And I know everybody else sees my value. The Emmys speak for themselves. The #1 New York Times bestsellers speak for themselves. So I don't actually have to clap back because I know I'm good. But before them trophies, I would, man, what you mean I'm not a good host? What you mean this and that? What you mean?
So you would respond to people?
Back in the day, now I wouldn't clap back like Joy. She's a queen. I have no crown. But, like, don't you think, Joy, a part of it now, and I can't speak for you, so I'm genuinely curious, but don't you think a part of Lamar's clapping back comes from maybe a little doubt of, I am a unanimous MVP, but it was 1,200 days ago. Could any of it be a little doubt in that? I don't know. I'm speaking for me.
I don't know. I've been excellent, so that wasn't a reason why I was responding.
But you've leveled up in this industry, I would say.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the growth is what we do.
Correct.
But I was her then too.
Right. Yeah.
So there's no difference in the confidence I had in myself.
But there's a difference in the achievement, meaning Lamar Jackson's achievements have done this. And truth be told, they've done this.
I think it's more about Lamar is the center of attention right now.
Mm-hmm.
He is a star. He's the face of the league. He's winning, he's the MVP, but right now, everybody's throwing negativity his way in a way that doesn't really feel fair. Like, nobody's paying these bills except for the owners.
Right.
Y'all are not writing this check for Lamar Jackson. So what is the point of picking at whether he deserves this money or should get this money or if it's worth it to a team to get this money? At the end of the day, he feels he deserves this because he's earned it. He has. It's not his fault that the Browns went out and did this. That's what the market is.
Okay.
It's how this works for every single position ever since negotiating has started. The next star up gets paid.
Two things. Okay. One, it doesn't always go up. Okay, let's be clear. Deshaun Watson signed his deal, and then Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson signed their deals.
They're not the same.
For less than Deshaun Watson got. So this
same.
idea that it always goes up.
But they're not the same.
But it's, I'm just saying that the idea that the market is set by whatever the last highest contract was has already been...
you're right.
Has already been disproven.
Not for everybody.
Here's the second part.
For those dudes, it is.
Here's the second part, is I don't know that everybody's coming after Lamar Jackson. I think he's finding the people that are coming at. I don't see this avalanche of criticism. I see as much about what are the Ravens doing as I do about Lamar Jackson. And the Ravens just continue to go, yeah, we hope to to resolve our differences and to have Lamar back. And meanwhile, Lamar is now out again, like fighting battles with people who aren't actually involved in the discussion.
I got a question. Joy, do you think, and Shady, I want to ask you all both, do you think you should pay somebody for what they have done or what they are going to do? Joy first, Shady.
Can I answer that too?
Should get in.
Okay.
Do you think you should pay somebody for what they have done, Joy, or what you think they're going to do?
Both.
Okay, but if you're another team, then what is it?
What other team are we talking about?
If
Are we
you're-
talking about the Falcons, who were the worst in their division last year? Are we talking about the Colts, who can't get it together for life? Are we
Meaning-
talking about the Raiders? Yes, you pay for potential and you pay for accomplishment.
There's only one answer.
What's that?
It's you're paying them for what they're going to do, not what they've done.
Shady?
I think it's a little bit of both. You're not even going. First of all,
You're never going to know what someone's going to do.
you won't even go out there and get a player if you're not aware of what he already done. You see what I'm saying? So Lamar was a beast, so that's why they're going out there to get him. Now he hasn't had years as great as he has in the past, but you still want him. You still value him, his talent, his potential. So you're paying for both. You're paying for what he's already done. That's why we go out there to get Lamar Jackson, and then you're paying for what he's going to do, what he brings to your team. How many teams can he go to right now and he won't be the best player? So y'all like to try to not give him his credit, but when we really sit down and think about it, how many teams can he go to and won't be the best player? Let's talk about the teams that don't want him, right? You said the Colts. He'll be the best player in the Colts right now.
Okay.
Jonathan Taylor's better at what he does than Lamar than what he does.
How? Because he did 1 year of good, he had one good year, and then what? Let's get there.
Lamar Jackson.
And I'm a fan of JT. Okay, wrong again. Let's go to the Atlanta Falcons. What would he be there?
So,
they don't listen. Not only should they give him a new contract, they should give him some stake and some equity in the team. Who else we got?
But here's the thing, Shady.
Who else we got?
You're
Raiders.
You're confusing.
Saints.
You're confusing.
The Saints?
No, Shady. You're confusing value with talent at the
How?
position.
It's the same thing. It really is.
And he plays quarterback.
Correct. Most valuable, of course. Lamar will be the most valuable
And he
player
would
on
be
any
the
team
best
he goes
player.
to.
He'd be
He's
both.
not-
See, the problem is,
both.
I think you're talking of players that do you only value the position. So, like, for example, the New York Giants, right? Danny Dimes, they're going to pay him on the value of the team and a position. Where Lamar Jackson is both. We're going to pay him for his value as a quarterback who's elite, who's top 5, top 8. And then you're going to pay him for being the best player on your team.
Now, let me ask you
need
this.
that.
Will Lamar Jackson, because I believe kind of was slick, especially if you weren't the Ravens, you're
Okay.
paying for what you think Lamar will do. I'm not paying you for what you did in Baltimore, respectfully. If I am the Atlanta Falcons, I'm not giving you back pay.
You only know Lamar Jackson's name because of what he's done in Baltimore.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm paying you based off the projection of what I think you
Right.
will do for me.
And I'm
congrats on what you did there,
Okay.
but I'm paying you because what I think you will do for
But
me.
you're in the building or in the meeting with him because what he did. Okay,
Previously.
so that's
Yes,
part
sir.
of it.
But
All right,
that's part of why you're
Question.
here.
Okay, now I want to get there.
Okay, so now what am I going to do going forward?
Yeah.
My question is this. Is Lamar's next 5 years, because he just finished his 5th,
Okay.
do you believe that his next 5 will be as good as his last 5? That is the question that you have to answer.
I think they'd be better because I don't see Lamar Jackson.
So you see another MVP.
Listen, let me finish what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
I don't know if I ever see the MVP year again. Like, that's hard to do. Patrick Mahomes has been lights out. He's only had how many MVPs?
Two of them.
Okay, so my thing is this. Going
But he's
forward,
been in the conversation.
I mean, whatever. That don't count. That don't count for nothing.
What?
Sure.
It being a conversation?
Because Lamar's been in the
What are we
conversation.
talking about?
I'm with you. I'm with you. Go ahead.
Anyway, I'm just saying, going forward, I don't know if he get another MVP year, but you still could be a great player and have big success without being the MVP.
True.
Because these last 2 years, he's been hurt. So imagine you take, because first of all, his first 3, he wasn't getting hurt at all.
No, sir, he wasn't.
So if you move forward, he has the same success as far as not getting injured like the first 3 years, and he has continued process of getting better and better and better. Lamar Jackson may have
Shady,
a better 5 years. I can see that.
We will revisit this topic.
Lamar is that dude. I don't know what y'all watching. I don't know what y'all seeing.
I didn't say he's
Y'all
not.
crazy?
I didn't say, Lamar, you are that dude.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.